Okay. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Improperly Packaged, a show where we unbox topics related to movies, TV, games, whatever. I am Jordan, and with me again, Big Daddy-O, Lucas. How are you doing, Luke?
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I'm ready to unbox all those topics.
Excellent. It's been, and it continues to be.
3 weeks?
Has
It's
it been?
been for me.
Been a while. It's been a while, man. For those of you who do not know, Luke, you have embarked on a new adventure.
I'm on a path.
Adventures in
sure.
babysitting, but forever instead of just for one crazy night.
Yeah. Adventures in the permanent babysitting.
Yeah. How's that going for you so far?
It's a challenge, that's for sure. But it's an important thing. It's a step we've talked about for a long time. I'm sure anyone who gets married talks about probably before you get married, and then of course after you get married. And we've been married now going on 10 years, and we weren't rushing into it, but we're just like, I think it's probably time. So
how about that?
We made that call, and here we are. Mr. Indy has been welcomed to the world.
Well, big congratulations, of course. But
thank you.
It's very exciting, obviously you guys, but it's very exciting for me too. Gorgeous.
It's a big moment for me, Luke. Okay.
I think we are really underappreciating the moment for me.
How big it is for me.
Really,
I mean, jerk.
I'd say just as much, maybe even more so. I don't know. I'm not gonna say, but you know, just keep me in mind, okay? Goodness gracious!
If we get into a car accident, it could be a big moment for you. So
exactly.
Yeah.
That baby just falls into my lap.
It's a terrible thought.
Yeah, God.
Was that movie, Life as We Know It?
I think is what movie you're talking about.
Is it Heigl?
Yeah.
And Josh Duhamel?
Yeah, this is a movie that was on one time. I was just over at someone's house long ago, and it was just on. And I had to like piece together what the movie was about because I jumped in the middle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's basically what it's about.
Yeah, pretty
Car
much.
accident, baby.
Yeah. It's weird that they picked like for their godparents or whatever, like two single people.
Two people who very much did not want a child.
Did they ever like look up at the end of the movie? Was this what they wanted or whatever when they ended up together? I'm sure they ended up together. I didn't finish the movie, but I'm sure something like that occurred.
They did. I don't know.
So something important happened. Two important things that, have been missing from the podcast, obviously, is our food discussion, which usually gets left by the wayside.
My silky tones.
Yeah, describing food to me. I finally went to Tinker, Luke.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Tinker.
You went to the new and improved Tinker.
Yeah, no longer a food truck. It is just a place.
And I guess they don't even do the food truck at all. I always see it just parked there. I've never seen it, definitely not where it used to be. And
yep.
I mean, who could blame them? But also, I feel like, man, that's got to be tough to pay for that big building. It's like, you've really stepped up, your responsibility now.
They're only
it's
open
a nice building they moved into.
They're open for dinner for 3 days, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, they were doing well. I mean, they were bumping.
I hope they make it.
Yeah, for sure. I had a chicken burger, grilled chicken burger. It was delicious. It had a fried cheese on it. You're not the only Tinker enthusiast in my life. There's a friend at work who is, but she was bugging me every day about it. Yeah.
Done for Mark.
But it was good. Good service. It was, I think I ate for
the dude is
3
really
days.
nice. He makes me want to support him. He's just like a warm guy. It's like, I want to spend money with you.
I want to spend money with you.
At least he was the one time I went. I was like, man, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they accidentally gave us a appetizer, and so that was great.
One of the best accidents that can happen.
Love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. It's such a good time. That place we were at, and they were like, oops, here's another meal for everyone. Oh, gee. Oh, gee.
Oh, darn.
But I wanted to tell you about this because I think my life has been changed forever, and it'll never be the
Oh.
same. Maybe again, maybe just as much, maybe even more as you guys'
I'm here for
life has been changed. Beef Wellington is something that I've seen on the
Did
internet.
you just compare what you're about to tell me to me having a baby?
Maybe, but
Maybe more than your life has
maybe
changed,
even
Luke.
more.
Beef Wellington. What?
But listen, though, it is.
No, you should have. The next thing should have been, I'm losing my leg, John. That would have been the only acceptable thing for you to say next.
Exactly. I don't know, man. But it's. But
Please
listen,
continue though
listen,
with
though.
this outrageous line of thinking.
Beef Wellington was something that I've seen like and go on when looking at it like online and everything, like seeing Gordon Ramsay cook it. But seeing that it was available to me.
Give me a quick rundown of what Beef Wellington is.
All right, imagine this.
Imagine a world.
A beef loin, a filet mignon, just a loin. And then what you do, you sear the thing. And then you take like a processed mushroom and usually some sort of nut. A lot of times it's something like chestnut. Put it in the food processor, and then you wrap it with that. And then you take a pastry puff, and wrap it around all of it tight. Put it in the oven.
Wrap it tight, boy.
Cut it out in little pieces. Oh my God. Like, and then there was gravy on top. Like, it was one of those things where like Amber was like, I just took a bite and Amber was like, how was it? And I was like, quiet for a little while. I was just like,
Describable.
that was amazing, Amber.
And I got my taste back.
Oh my God. I would have been so.
It tastes like nothing. That would have been the worst.
I'm in the most depressing thing. Something
How
you
is it?
always
I
wanted to
don't know.
have. Oh my God. I'll start crying. I don't know.
It tastes like sand. Oh God. That's awesome. So you made it?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
But I've been inspired to make it because I don't know.
Where'd you get it then?
This was at Epcot in the American section, a part of their arts and taste of art or whatever, where there was like, it's like they have their food and wine festival, but it like never stops. Basically, there's always something where all these stands are there. It's just a rotating like all these rotating like.
There's just
items.
not quite as much food in the other ones.
Exactly, food and wine is like holy crap. There's so much, but
it's Snack City.
But the flower festival and the art festival, it's like there's a lot there, but not as much as food and wine. But I couldn't believe it. It's the best thing I've ever had at Disney, and one of the best things I've had. Period. But
and there's some good stuff at Epcot too.
Oh yeah,
that pizza is really good.
Yeah, the pizza's fantastic.
In Italy,
great.
French
stuff.
Food's really good. Yeah, I've got to go to that Canadian steakhouse.
What, the Cellar?
I gotta go there.
It's so expensive.
Jordan, got to.
Just gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe they serve beef Wellington.
Oh,
I don't know,
sir. I'd like all your beef Wellington.
I'm obsessed. I'm gonna have to do it one day. I don't know. It's gonna break the bank a little bit just to get the meat, but whatever.
What is it, like $100 a plate or something?
I don't think it's that much, actually. I'm being a cheapskate. It's not that much.
Unless it's like $500 a plate,
I think expect like 60.
Save up for a few years.
$60 a plate, something like that. I was literally thinking about going in there one day and like being the worst
Cash
person.
in my whole 401k.
I was thinking about, can I have a plate of fries and be like the worst person of all time? They'd kick me out.
How many plates you're throwing out anyways? You remember that Office episode where Michael gets lost and he doesn't have his wallet?
Yeah.
He's like talking to the hot dog stand guy. He's like, well, what do you do with the hot dogs at the end of the day? We throw them out. Well, instead of throwing them out, just throw them into my mouth right now.
Oh, excellent. Anyways.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. All right. I'm sure you have all sorts of stuff to get into, Luke. So let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead, man.
Scroll.
Watching / playing / listening to. You start us off.
Yeah, I noticed you guys didn't do listening to.
I know
Adam's not a listening to guy.
I'm not sure how much he listens to, really. So Put him on the spot. Adam.
We need to do an
next time.
episode with all three of us.
Absolutely.
We need to inspire Adam to listen to more stuff.
Exactly. You'll tell him how it is. We need to probably what we probably need to do is, if anyone has any suggestions, let us know. We've been using Zoom this whole time, and they have a limit of 2 people for like the unlimited like recording or whatever, or the meetings. But I think there's better options out there. There has to be.
It's what I'm blanking on. What's the name of the thing everybody's using right now? On the tip of my tongue. Like a lot of video game people use it to like do cross-platform chat.
I think I know.
CJ's mentioned it to me.
CJ did. Let us know, CJ. Let us know what this is so we can branch out and do more 3 people episodes.
You would know it. It's super popular. Oh,
FaceTime, Skype, Google Hangouts. Is Google Hangouts still around? I don't even know.
Basically, if it exists, it's probably been shut down in the Google world.
Gosh, man. All their experiments with that sort of stuff is just bit the dust. Google Plus or whatever that they tried to do. Let's see.
I'm looking at this Tom's Guide article. Duo, FaceTime, Messenger, WhatsApp. Not helpful.
Not it at all.
I'll keep looking and try to talk about what I'm listening to at the same time. So it's kind of random, but Bleachers, they're famous for, what song is it they're famous for again? Man, for some reason, my computer seems to be working very slow tonight. I don't think it's the internet because we're not having any trouble on here, but like stuff is just taking forever to load up. I think this computer's just getting old.
That kid of yours playing Fortnite? Gotta kick him off Fortnite.
At 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, they start them early now these days.
I want to get better. Bleachers, I want to get better. I want to get better. So
yeah.
Oh jeez. Yeah, so Bleachers is a band that I really don't like their hits on the radio, but they come out with songs like that don't really get played. They come out with singles and stuff like Don't Take the Money, which I don't think it really got played on the radio, but I really like that song. One of those bands that's it's strange, like their pop stuff just kind of annoys me. But then they make some stuff that's like, wow, that's pretty good. So they had another song that just came out November 16th, so a few months back. Featuring Bruce Springsteen.
The boss, okay.
Who I guess I saw in the news just got arrested for DWI.
The former boss, okay.
So anyways, it's called Chinatown, featuring Bruce Springsteen, and yeah, it's an interesting mix of like Bruce Springsteen style with the Bleachers, kind of poppy rock. So yeah, pretty good song. So
yep.
I have so many other things to recommend, but I'm gonna stick to that.
Save them for the weeks to come, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we got a lot of miles ahead of us. I'd imagine.
Anything you've been listening to, Jordan?
Not too much. You know, there's sometimes I'll remember a band that I haven't listened to in a while, and I'll go back to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't mentioned them on the podcast yet. This isn't anything really super new as far as artists go. They don't really have a lot of new stuff out. She's like a solo artist. Her name's Wet. W-E-T.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. I like her.
To her.
Yeah, they're still running album. I think that's like her newest album, which is not new. It's like a few years old, but yeah, good stuff. Just good stuff. Again, chill, mostly pretty chill. Kind of like pop, but there's like a little bit of like a jazzy kind of influence to it, just a little bit. Maybe soul. I don't know what you'd say, but it's good stuff. She's talented. I recommend it. Wet. It's an interesting name.
Good.
But, you know, she's good. Yeah, what you been watching / playing, man?
So I have a list of like 10 things. So
nice.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each thing, but I thought we would spice this part of the show up a little bit by playing a little game. And I do mean little. It's not a big game, but it's going to be a guessing game for you. So you know how I enjoy watching like just a lot of different random movies a lot of times from, years back or recent. So I'm going to throw out a list of movies, and all of these are actually ones that I want to watch like soon.
Okay.
And then hidden in this, so there's going to be 3 questions,
All right.
and hidden in each one of the 3 is the actual movie that I just watched like in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So your job is to try to guess which one I actually watched.
All right.
Maybe impossible, but do your best.
We'll see.
So for the first one is 4 movies: Goodfellas, Forrest Gump, Silence of the Lambs, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
Which movie do you think I recently watched?
All right. This is just a guess. Throw one. Can I ask you any other questions?
All
right,
I haven't thought it out that far.
Let me
But
guess. Okay. So it's Goodfellas, Forrest Gump.
maybe, see, it would be more fun if you could ask me questions, but I'm not sure how to phrase it without giving it away immediately.
It's very hard.
Why don't you just do like, instead of like 20 questions, I'll give you 3 questions to narrow it down.
Okay.
I'll answer 3 questions, and they have to be yes or no questions, just like 20 questions. So
I'm gonna try and make them
let's do it
vague
that way.
questions.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie before?
No.
Okay.
It's
How
a good one.
did this movie make you feel?
Mixed.
All right.
Well, it's a yes or no question, so I can't really answer
Oh,
that.
that is, yeah, I guess not.
Which I already
Did this
answered,
movie
but-
make you feel depressed?
No.
Okay. Would you let 10-year-old Indy watch this movie?
Yes.
Forrest Gump.
No.
Dang it.
Because I hadn't seen it before, Jordan.
Oh, that's right. Of course
I
you've
have
seen
seen
Forrest
Forrest.
Gump. Ah, geez, I forgot about my own question. Okay.
So it's Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay. All right. You know,
Yeah.
I've never seen that either. So
Yeah. It was one that I've heard about, for a long time. And then they recently did that Dane Cook organized, I believe, the reading with like a bunch of actors around Hollywood. Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, like just a bunch of people, like, and even
Wow.
I think Sean Penn like played a role in it. He didn't actually play his character, which is weird. Shia LaBeouf actually played his character, and he was like method acting and being just outrageous.
being Shia LaBeouf, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's strange coming into a movie like this, and I think you and I have done this before, where we watch a movie where we've heard so much about it. Like
Yeah.
Citizen Kane is a good example of that, where I saw it, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, and of course, all my life I've heard it like mentioned. It's like, oh, well, Citizen Kane, obviously.
It's no
The greatest
Citizen
movie
Kane.
to ever be filmed. And this was another one where, people don't hold it up as this amazing movie, but it's kind of, it's got a pretty big cult following, and it's referred to as, kind of a groundbreaking, like, high school drama kind of movie. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know. It was really goofy, and there wasn't anything that I thought it did interesting, but, this is 82, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to have that perspective of what came before. But I definitely would recommend it for people who enjoy movies like you and I.
Phoebe Cates.
I just think it's like, it should be on that list of interesting movies that were filmed. It's got just an interesting cast. It
Yeah.
jumps around to like different drama that's happening between like the different kids, and a lot of these people you recognize, that went on to do a lot of other things, like Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
weird
saw
seeing
that. I
him.
was like, what?
It's so weird seeing him this young, and before he did all the crazy roles he's done at this point. But yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I'm not going to give it a rave review, but you should watch it.
Okay.
Especially if you're any kind of film buff, like I would consider you and I to be.
What'd you watch it on?
It was streaming somewhere. Let me check. So yeah, it was an interesting thing. It must have gone off of whatever I was watching on now. So I think it was on Amazon, but I would play it, or no, I think it was on HBO Max.
Okay.
But I would play it, and the audio would only play, and it would be a black screen on the TV. Restarted the app, same thing, just over and over again. It would never play. So I ended up having to watch it with commercials on the AMC app.
Ugh.
But yeah, so weird.
I wonder
Never
if it
had that
was.
happen before.
I wonder if it was like just that movie. Maybe something was wrong with their data with it. I don't know.
Seemed like it.
Weird.
It kind of seemed like that.
That's so weird.
Yeah, very strange. Okay, next question, Jordan.
All right.
Now we have the rules set up. 3 questions, yes or no. Okay, 4 movies.
Okay.
The Green Mile,
Hmm.
Training Day, Leon the Professional, The Prestige.
Okay. 1 through 10. What do you give this movie?
A 9.
9. I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna ask the same question I asked before. Have you seen this movie before?
Yes.
Okay. 9, and you've seen it before. Holy crap. Was this movie nominated for anything? I guess that.
Let me look that up.
Yeah, I think that I was like, oh,
I
crap,
needed to
don't know.
IMDb this movie anyways, and I hadn't done it yet. So
Okay.
I believe it had,
Hmm.
but let's.
That's so vague. I mean, it's gonna be nominated for
Oh,
something,
yeah.
right?
It won an Oscar.
All right.
It was nominated for a lot of things: Golden Globe, Screen Actor Guild,
Okay. Green Mile.
FI. Leader, actor in a leading role. Let me just.
Green Mile.
Even though this is supposed to be it's not Green Mile.
Dang it!
I'm sorry.
Didn't
That's a good guess.
didn't we get
Yes,
the?
I definitely think it was. I think it was nominated for like Best Picture that year.
Yeah.
Might have even won.
The nomination thing I think threw me off the most. What was it?
Training Day.
Training Day. Okay.
Yeah, I'd actually mentioned to you before that I'd been wanting to watch this, and it went on to, let me see, HBO Max. Yeah, it went on to HBO Max, I think, at the beginning of February. So
You got
I
9.
can't remember. I had watched something else. I told you I'd watched something that you owned, I think, instead of Training Day. Because Pulp Fiction. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I watched
Yeah,
Pulp
that's
Fiction
right.
instead of Training Day. So yeah, I just stumbled on it. I'm like, it's streaming. Hallelujah! I've been wanting to watch it, and
Hallelujah.
there's these interesting Instagram accounts that will they're like film buff Instagram accounts, and it'll just like have a scene, or just like not even a full scene sometimes, like just like the dramatic parts. They have such interesting cuts. I should send it to you. They have like epic crying, and it'll go like from one like great actor like crying to an actress crying, like these great scenes in which they're like showing emotion or whatever, and like comparing them. And anyways, all that being said, one of them had something about Denzel had been interviewed and said that was his favorite role that he'd ever played, was Detective Alonzo.
Very
So
nice.
I was like, oh, no, that's a great movie. I haven't seen it in so long. I think I only saw it once when I was like younger. I didn't even really remember like what happened, and
Hiding it from your parents, very much so.
probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good movie. It's just it's got such a great like concise structure to it, It gets done exactly what it's trying to get done. It takes one day, just like the movie says, Training Day.
Yeah.
It takes one day, and it like puts all these great action scenes. Yeah, it's just a good action movie, great drama. Yeah. Just Ethan Hawke and Denzel like have great chemistry, and even though they're really like enemies pretty much, but
Yeah.
yeah, they play off each other really well. I love both of those guys, man. Ethan and Denzel,
Yeah.
they
Top
act it
notch.
up in every movie. It's weird seeing what's her name? Eva Mendes in such a small role. Like,
I forgot she was in that.
back in that day, I feel like she was a pretty big star. Like, she was in a lot of stuff, but really very much a side character in that movie. But she's great. So it's amazing to have like an actor, whatever, of her quality, just as like your side character. So
No kidding. Yeah.
just a great movie.
I think I'm in your camp too. I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I need to check it out too. Goodness gracious. Hey, HBO Max. All right. It's got everything.
A great movie. Yeah, it was Denzel won best actor. Let me see, best actor in a supporting role, I believe. Leading role, yeah.
Dang,
And Ethan Hawke was nominated for supporting.
that's what's up. Good
He
job.
deserved it. Yeah, I think that's definitely one of Denzel's best characters.
Mm.
He's made some ridiculous movies over the years.
Yes.
So yeah, like I'm gonna use this list that I came up with. I want to watch all these movies I've been mentioning.
Dude,
Like I don't
some
think
good
I've
movies
ever
there.
seen Goodfellas, and I definitely haven't seen Leon the Professional, and that's like on the IMDb in like the top 50 movies ever filmed. So
It's
you need
one
to
of
see
those
that thing.
one of those things with that movie. It was weird because I watched it actually kind of recently for like the second time, I think. But
Hmm.
like oddly enough, it was so I love that movie. It's really good, but Amber loved it. I was
Yeah,
shocked. She was like, I love that movie. That was amazing. Like I was like, wow, all right, great.
yeah. Was it pretty action packed?
No.
Yeah,
There's like a
drama.
solid like long action scene at the end, but it's very unique. I think it's why it's very unique as
Yeah,
far as like the situation, and it's good. It's just really good. Um, got anything else?
yeah. This is the final question.
All
I
right.
have other movies and other stuff I've watched, so I'll just kind of go through those quickly. But final question, or our little game, our little game. Um,
We'll write down a little
okay,
bit.
4 movies. Once Upon a Time in America,
Oh, okay.
The Matrix, Casablanca, The Shining.
Matrix, Casablanca, and The Shining. All right. And Once Upon a Time in America. Okay, questions. Do you consider this movie a classic?
Yes.
Okay. Um. Okay. Geez. Geez. All right. Another again. Have you seen this movie before?
I have.
All right. Did this movie energize you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. What was the fourth one? It was Once Upon a Time in America, Matrix, Casablanca, and what was the fourth one?
The Shining.
The Shining. Okay. I'll say The Shining. I'm just
Oh,
0 for 0. All right.
0 for
0 for
3.
3. Yeah, got it.
It was The
It was The
Matrix.
Matrix. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dang it. Jeez. How
I
was
do
The
need to see The
Matrix?
Shining, though. I think I've watched like half of The Shining. I've never watched the whole movie.
Which half?
The middle?
Oh, just cut it right from the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, so The Matrix, I'm gonna go through the trilogy, and that was my first step back into the old Matrix pool.
You're
So
gearing up, man. It's coming for number
yep,
4 this year. It's hard to
exactly.
believe. We haven't heard diddly dunk about it, except for
Yep,
maybe the
diddly
title. Did you hear that? The title, maybe Matrix Resurrection.
Oh Lord.
And I was like, that's the title
That's the
that
joke.
I gave that movie
Yep.
immediately after seeing Matrix Revolutions. I think everybody did.
I didn't know Priyana Chopra was in it.
Who's that?
I'm seeing that on IMDb. She was in that the ABC show FBI, I think it was called.
Oh, okay.
She was like, it was like in the FBI training camp, I think. Or she's an Indian actress. Yeah, she's gotten pretty famous. She married one of the Jonas brothers.
Oh, Nick Jonas.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I know which one. I knew she was. I just kind of
You
knew
know
which,
what I'm talking about
Yeah,
now.
I knew you were talking about now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
all I knew was like everyone's returning. That's all that really mattered to me.
Everybody's back. Well, how was The Matrix? How long's it been since you've seen it?
Woo, quite a while.
Oh.
But yeah, just amazing. It's just, I in that case I can really put it into perspective, like what things were like before, and like I know what was revolutionary. I think it's just easier to pick out with that movie, especially with like bullet time. It's so obvious that that's like this would have blown my mind back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing really has done the same thing. Obviously a lot of movies have taken elements from the Matrix, but nothing has done it in the same way the Matrix did. And yeah, it's just the other two movies. I think they're really cool. I can't wait to go back to them. But I mean, let's be honest, nothing touches the original. It just, yeah, it's just everything kind of fell into place in that movie. You know, it's kind of, well, I don't know if I'll go that far, but the Wachowskis, it was like the one moment where they just kind of got everything right, and I don't feel like that's ever even come close since then.
I agree.
I mean, you've seen some of their movies and just come out of them going, "Why did I waste my time?"
Yeah, I think I've seen all of their movies, and yeah, nothing's come close.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just
There's some good
sometimes things work, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, sometimes directors just are masters of what they do, and you know, every movie they come out with is great. But yeah, I don't know. The Wachowskis, they just got everything right on that one. I think the cast was just perfect. Like even the supporting guys, like in the ship, and the ladies, like, you know, who all die pretty early on in the movie. They were really good though. I think it was cast well. We talked about Tank a little bit, like the only guy that survived. And just how he added an interesting element, and you know, as small as his role was, it just, I don't know, it added something to that movie. And Keanu Reeves, I mean, what can we say? He's just the perfect cast for
He's great.
the lead in that
I
one.
really like him. That.
Yeah. And what's his name? Hugo Weaving. I mean, dude's just a master actor. It's incredible how many great like action things that he's been in. And yeah, he's just a unique guy. It'd be hard to cast that role of Agent Smith, especially in like a, you know, subsequent movie like The Matrix 4, to try to like replace Hugo.
I know.
With some other new agent. I don't know if they're going to do that. I hope they don't. I think that will fall on its face if they try. But
it's hard to know what they're gonna do. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. Hugo Weaving. What has he been in recently?
Yeah.
I saw him in like Hacksaw Ridge, and that was a while ago, and I can't recall.
Still need to see that movie.
It's a good one. I can't recall anything.
V for Vendetta, of course. Like
Vendetta,
that was
yeah, they used
great
him there.
role. He was in this movie called Lone Wolf.
Oh yeah.
This year. Loveland last year.
Okay, so he's
looks like a French movie. Cinema Quarantine. Das Bad.
Yeah.
Measure for Measure, Hearts and Bones, Mortal Engines. Okay,
that's
probably the biggest one.
These are all these are like smaller films, except for obviously Mortal Engine. I don't know any of these other movies though.
Not a big fan of Mortal Engines.
I mean, I never saw it, so
yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of our little game. I think that was fun.
Yeah, I need to improve, so I'll think of ways.
Might do that again at some point. So I finished The Stand. I finished that show. Got through all of it. So
The Stand?
Yeah. Did it cut out or something? The Stand.
No, I was just making sure. Yeah, that's. Go ahead and we'll go ahead and say everything else you're gonna watch, because we got to talk about The Stand.
I'm caught up to WandaVision at this point. So
how are you feeling?
That's good. I mean, from what IGN posted, apparently it's the most watched show in the world right now. So
yeah, that makes sense.
If anyone's listening to them, they probably have already watched it. So
yeah,
know what's going on. Yeah, it's interesting. It really is not what I thought it was going to be. I think it I think maybe even it surprised both of us, because I remember from what we were saying like early on, we definitely, we thought something similar to this might happen, but not. I definitely didn't guess this was what was going to be going on. But
same.
It's interesting. I kind of think that my theory might have been more interesting, but we haven't finished the story, so that's hard to make that judgment at this point.
Apparently, these last 3 episodes are going to be an hour each, so they're going to give us a lot more.
Got a lot of explaining to do.
Got some explaining to do.
I also watched the HBO Max premiere, the Denzel movie, actually. Man, it was weird going from Training Day to the little things. Oh, Denzel, I'm sorry, man. Just life wears you down.
The great old mare just ain't what she used to be.
I don't know if it was more because he was like supposed to be this weathered detective. Did you see the little things?
I did not see the little things.
Yeah.
I tried to work myself up to watch it, but I just never got there, to be honest.
Yeah, he just looks like he's supposed to be like this veteran um detective, so it makes sense, but ooh, they definitely aren't putting much makeup on him. They're
Yeah.
just letting it all hang out. But yeah, it's a good movie. Definitely worth a watch. What's his name? 30 Seconds to Mars.
Rami Malek. No, oh, Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah. Rami Malek too. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jared Leto, he plays a role. He has a stick, you know, that's just him. And yeah, if you're looking for that kind of guy, he's the one to get for it. So yeah, definitely worth a watch. I'm just going to keep going because I have several things.
Yeah, go.
Godzilla King of Monsters, I finally watched that whole thing.
Okay.
It's weird. It took like 3 sitting down and trying to get through it. I just, you know, the baby calls sometimes. So
Yeah.
but I went back to where I was because at one point I had accidentally let it play and turned off the TV and came back. I was like, what the?
What's happening now?
The crescendo. And I'm like,
oh, shoot.
I was way earlier when they're in the lab or whatever. Like, this isn't it at all. So, yeah, you know, getting ready for Godzilla vs. Kong. So,
yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a monster movie, that's basically what I would say.
Yep.
I would agree with you. I think, you know, Kong Skull Island has been the best one so far, but I like Godzilla. I think it's interesting. If you're looking for giant monsters, then cool. A lot of giant monster fights. So
monster fights.
I would say like the story around it is pretty weak, and even the acting, it's fine.
I can't even tell you what the story was as far as like what their human characters were doing.
Like the family drama, you know?
Yeah.
With like their son dying and stuff. I don't know.
She's like, I'm going to wake up all the monsters because.
Yeah. It felt very weak.
I don't know. And you're going to let me do it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah. Interesting. I also watched Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, cool.
I just love that movie. It's my favorite of the 3 new ones. You know, I had my issues with The Last Jedi. I think it's a good movie. I just had my issues with the toning, and I think it could have been scripted better. The Force Awakens, I think, you know, was a great introduction, but I really felt like JJ finally had a chance to like just unleash like the fun stuff that he loves to do. It reminded me a lot of how he had fun with Star Trek in those 2 movies he made. Especially with like the light speed jumping at the beginning. I was like, oh man, this is like classic JJ. Like I remember right at the beginning of whatever, I think it was the last Star Trek, where he had like the kid racing the like Mustang like through the woods, and like the cops or whatever chasing him. It just felt like that, like just like this fun, intense like action scene to like start off the movie. And yeah, I just
wish they played Sabotage by the Beastie Boys in Star Wars.
They couldn't afford the rights, Jordan. It's just too expensive.
You know what, Poe Dameron flicking on the radio. Now we're talking.
Let's play some classical music. Also would have been a little derivative.
Yeah, and like,
a lot.
Beastie Boys is in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. The one thing they share, both universes.
Not bad.
Yeah, just a wonderful movie. Love it.
Excellent.
It's only my second time watching it, but so good.
Nice.
Xbox had their first exclusive in quite a while for Xbox Series X, the Medium, come out. And I put maybe an hour into it, and it's a really interesting game. I think if you like that kind of game, I think it would be well worth it. It's just not my style of game. It's as simple as that. It's just a little too slow for me. But I think if you really like mystery stuff with like clues, it's really, if I was going to like play a quote unquote horror game, this is exactly what I would want it to be. It's more creepy and not like Resident Evil scare your pants off kind of stuff. So yeah, I think it's really cool. I don't feel like it at all takes advantage of next gen, which I was kind of hoping it would. I was hoping it would like push the limits and be like the first like showcase piece for like what the graphics can do, but it looks fine.
Yeah, from what I
But
understand, just the gimmick in and of itself is insanely taxing. Like just to be able to run those two environments simultaneously. So I guess you kind of have to like sacrifice visual fidelity, I guess was the idea, but it can only do it with this
but
SSD or whatever.
in the beginning of the game, yeah, I should check. Maybe I don't have it on the internal hard drive. I know that makes a big difference.
Oh.
But in the beginning of the game, you're not actually doing that. So
Oh.
they do have a chance for it to look absolutely perfect. And it looks good. You know, it
Yeah.
looks like a last gen, but like better, you know, improved. But it doesn't look like, oh yeah, that's what we've been looking for. HDR 4K, baby. 60 frames.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look that good. Honestly, the up-res like Modern Warfare looks really good. I was actually playing it last night and I'm like, I'm in the middle of a game, but it looks so good that I'm actually noticing how much better this looks than when I was playing on my last system. Like there's like lighting effects and like smoke that's like coming up, and I'm like, none of this stuff was in this level before. Like maybe it downloaded a new like update or something, you know, maybe they've been working on it, and I know it takes a while for that transition.
That's great when it happens. You're like,
But
oh, wait a minute, this looks amazing.
yeah. It's like I can just sit here and appreciate this. I don't even have to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Very cool. It's The Stand. Let's talk a little bit about The Stand. If we finish The Stand as well, it's been our show that we've watched every Thursday. Yeah, man. Did you see The Trash Can Man? Did you see Ezra Miller?
Did I? It didn't dawn on me that that's who you were talking about until like, you know, 10 minutes of him being on screen. I'm like, oh, yeah.
My jaw was agape. I was like,
so ridiculous. So what is he supposed to be, Jordan?
all right, it's like, okay, so he is a character. He isn't just like this thing that that like just he isn't.
Yeah.
Again,
Barely talks.
as I said, he takes the knob and cranks it past 11, breaks the knob off of the freaking unit, and just throws it into the stratosphere. It's just
sets it on fire, obviously.
Trash Can Man is a wild and eccentric character who's a firebug, and it's like you say, I'm going to take this role and I'm going to be wild and eccentric with an already wild and eccentric role. It's just that. That's what it is. It's just, wow, you really went there. And it feels like watching it where you're just like, you know, it feels like self-aggrandizing, like the way he's doing it. I'm going to show everyone how big I can go, and I'm going to play this. I feel like they cut him out of it, honestly. I felt like, because he's only in like 3 scenes or something in the entire thing. I feel like they cut him out because they were like, this is bad. But I'm sorry. I Trash Can Man is an aspect of that show I just cannot believe. What did you think of the show, Luke?
This show is over, right?
The show's over.
Okay.
It's done.
I was just looking through it. I'm like, is it over?
Didn't feel over at that last episode. You saw the tribe and everything, right? So
yeah. I mean, we
that's
saw
it.
Yeah, I've watched everything.
That's it from what. In case
I was actually watching when we were in the hospital. We spent 4 days in the hospital, so like the first night, I was actually watching on my phone. Actually, a pretty good experience nowadays with the AirPods, and yeah,
nice.
it was good. But yeah, I don't know. It got bad reviews. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Maybe it's just I'm starved for shows with this amount of production quality. I feel like too many shows I've watched on like Netflix and stuff, it's just like they feel like they've kind of been pumped out. This feels like it was in the cooker for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, you know, they actually went to places, filmed like in place instead of like putting it on a soundstage or something. Yeah, I enjoyed myself a lot. I don't have the context of the book like you do, and
yeah,
I don't have a history with this, so I don't have anything to put it in perspective with. This is just, a secluded experience for me, but yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
How did you like the characters?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was an interesting mix of, people that each had their own dynamic.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to look through like who played what. Yeah, like Alexander Skarsgård.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's been in a lot recently. He's kind of a
Yeah, he was good.
hot guy about Hollywood at this point.
Hot indeed.
Yeah, he played an awful person pretty well.
Yeah, he usually does.
The show definitely went a little far for me several times. This is definitely a very mature show, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't appreciate that stuff as much now as I used to. It just, heads getting blown off and stuff like that. I know it's just part of that kind of thing, but I don't know. Not my cup of tea, really.
I hear you. I thought it was okay. I mean, like honestly, it's one of those things where I'm glad to get your perspective as someone who like hasn't read the book or anything like that. Because yeah, that's important to know. All because it does it differently a little bit. There's not much different in the story that they tell.
That's
Honestly.
what I was wondering.
It's the exact same story. It's the exact same story. It really is. I thought there was something about them changing the ending. No, I mean they didn't really change the ending. The last episode was expanded upon, whereas like in the book, it's like, well, they did this and it's over. They don't really go. You can imagine, I guess.
It was so different.
Yeah.
So different than all the other episodes.
Which is interesting. Apparently, Stephen King had involvement in like writing that last episode. But yeah, for me, there's stuff that they skip over. That I really wish they didn't. I wish they just said, you know what, we want to take our time with it and we're going to make this 2 seasons. That would have been very expensive, and I understand that, which is one of the great things about the show. It looks great. You're right. Like, there's parts in this show where I'm like, wow, seeing this realized in this way is like, for a book fan, this is a dream. This looks great.
I'm sure like Vegas was something that's like,
oh my gosh, Vegas?
It took a lot of money to put all that together.
Great. I was like, this is amazing. It's like kind of scary because of just how insane it is. It is cool. I'm gonna sneeze. Am I gonna sneeze? I hate that. Oh
yeah.
Yep. There it goes.
Damn.
There it goes. That was a bad one. I really didn't enjoy that sneeze at all. It's when you're like, you think you're not gonna sneeze and then it just comes. Oh, I hate that.
It burns.
I'm fine with sneezing, but come on, just give it to me. I thought the cast was mostly good. There was a few stinkers, I thought, where I'm like, why you? I mean, obviously we talked about Ezra Miller, but I don't know what they were doing with Whoopi Goldberg there. Because like there was moments where I'm like, she's doing pretty good, but all of a sudden I'm like, what are you doing? Like she started acting mean all of a sudden, and I'm like, why is Mother Abigail acting so mean? And I thought they were gonna explain that, but then all of a sudden she's just back to being sweet old Mother Abigail. I'm like, well, what happened? Like they were gonna do something and they just stopped.
Yeah,
I think I think like there's a few characters that they completely messed up, but there's a few that they nail. I think they nailed Harold. I think that's Harold. Like he was exactly like he was the most entertaining actor too. Like he was over the top. He was a lot of fun to watch. Not in like a Ezra Miller kind of over the top, but
it made you want to hate him. But yeah, I agree. He did a good job.
He was good. Amber Heard, I thought, was mediocre. She wasn't that great. She kind of was just not good in that role. I didn't think everyone else was good. It was great. Glenn Bateman being played as Greg Kinnear. Greg Kinnear, I think, was a great choice for him. He's a great actor, and he just added a lot.
He is, yeah.
But yeah, I just wish the pandemic at the beginning and the journey to get there are some of the best stuff in the book. It's where a lot of the character stuff happens, where you get to know these characters, and they kind of just rush through all that. Like, honestly, they kind of just really rush through it. Like, there was a scene where like you find out that one character had a relationship with another character and they like went on the adventure together, and they just kind of skipped that. And I'm talking about whatever. I don't care. I'm talking about Larry and Nadine. They just kind of like flash, like do a quick, not even a flashback. They just flash back real quick. And they're like, oh, they were a thing? Okay. It's just
Yeah.
stuff like that, where I'm like, why did you feel the need to expedite that? Because there's a lot of other parts in the show where they take their time in the necessary kind of way, but sometimes they're just like, what? What? I don't know.
I hope that guy Larry gets more roles. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed him.
He was
He got
good.
he got a good presence.
He did a good job in a hard role to do. I think Larry Underwood is a hard role to act through because much of his character, what makes him him, is like the internal struggle that's going on. And I think he portrayed that really
Yeah.
well. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought overall it was okay. I'm really glad I watched it just for the things that I liked. I mean, I'm a fan of the source material, and it's the story. It definitely is a story. If you watch that, you know what The Stand is. You understand what The Stand is and all that stuff. Except there's a lot less of the pandemic stuff. From what I heard, they did not. They did all this stuff before COVID, and they didn't like change much
Yeah.
to accommodate everyone's, fears now. But I don't know. That is what it is.
The
But
guy that played Larry is the son in Fences.
what? Oh my God,
The
he
son in
is.
Fences.
You're right. We'll talk about a good Denzel
I know I'm
movie.
right. I just looked it up.
He's really good.
I'd never seen Fences, but that's another one that I saw a clip of, like Denzel like giving that speech to his son about like, I have a responsibility to care for you. That's a good scene.
It's a
It
good
makes me want to
movie.
watch that movie just because that scene was really good.
It's a good movie. It's based on a play, and it kind of feels like a play when you're watching it. But if it's Denzel, it's like something you want to watch. It's really,
I mean, just from that scene, it's like it fulfills that thing that I like about movies where it teaches a lesson, and it inspires.
Mhm.
And I think that's cool that it's like it doesn't matter like if I love you, it's my responsibility to your mother and you take care of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's good. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so The Stand. Other than that, I've been jumping around. Like, I think if you've heard the last podcast we did, I finished Resident Evil 7, so I'm going through my
Yeah.
backlog. There's not a lot of games coming out.
I'm impressed because I couldn't get through the
Dude.
beginning of that game.
Dude, no, like it gets better only because you start to understand the flow of the game more, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go through this hallway. There's a certain enemy type that you come to get a little familiar with, and you run into them. And
Do you actually do a lot of shooting later on in the game? 'Cause there was like nothing at the beginning when I was playing, like all mystery stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's like probably the second half of the shooting kind of ramps up, but it never becomes like shooty. There's parts where you feel more empowered. You're like, oh, I have a machine gun. That does happen. But even still, you're like, I can't be crazy here because I don't have all the ammo in the world. So there's that. And there's DLC that's free DLC that I played where you play as Chris Redfield. That's a lot more shooty, bang, bang for sure.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more shooting in that. And I felt less scared because I'm like, wow, I have a machine gun. I have this tactical shotgun with a lot more ammunition. And I'm Chris Redfield, who's a lot more BA than Ethan Winters. And so I just felt a little bit better about myself, I guess. But you know what? Honestly, it's stressful. It's stressful. It's good, but it is stressful. I mean, it's so funny though, how it does like, cause you don't know what's going on at the beginning. I'm like, what is this? It is funny how it like, oh, now fits into the Resident Evil universe or whatever, to where it's like, oh, it's somehow, it's this bio weapon that is making these people do this stuff.
Yeah.
It's,
hence Biohazard being the subtitle.
Exactly. It just doesn't feel that way when you're playing it in the first like few hours.
It
feels
certainly doesn't in the beginning that I was playing.
You're like, what is this?
Felt like Resident Evil backwoods.
Yeah, like Resident Evil Chainsaw Massacre.
The back country.
Exactly. It is a little bit of that, but I have no idea how this game leads. Like I thought if I'd play this, I'd be like, I'm going to understand how this leads into Resident Evil Villages. I have no idea how this turns into that. But anyways, I'm trying to get through my backlog, and so I'm trying to resist playing new games. But like, I started playing on Game Pass. They added Final Fantasy 12. I've never played it, And so
Hmm.
I got
I
like,
saw you were playing it.
yeah, I got like 8 hours into it because I'm like, I love this. This is good. This is different. I mean, it's Final Fantasy, so I'm going to love it, but this is great. And so I'm definitely going to beat that game because I really like it. But I had a moment where I was like, Jordan, stop. Because I had a realization that you know, when that hits you, there's a game that you got far in and you haven't beaten, and you need to buckle down and beat that freaking game.
Oh yeah, like Red Dead
Like
was
Red
for me
Dead,
for a
exactly.
while. Yeah.
That game for me right now is Dragon Quest 11 because I got stuck at a part. There was a boss that tore me a new one, and I got frustrated, and I was like, I don't
Through
even
the controller. Yeah.
yeah. But no, I'm back at it. I kicked the crap out of that boss. I'm back on the adventure. I mean, I'm like 50 hours in. I gotta beat this thing. I'm getting towards the end. I gotta finish this before I jump back into Final Fantasy 12, which is I'm really looking forward to doing. I mean, I'm enjoying Dragon Quest 11 a lot, but something about Final Fantasy 12 that really grabbed me. So
You're set on finishing it before you fully invest in 12.
exactly, because it's just another big JRPG.
Yep.
I don't want to. I have a hard time playing two of those at once because
Yep.
they're so like to get involved in like their systems and to kind of get your technique and all that stuff and your strategy and just kind of figure out the game again. I don't want to do that because I don't want to like forget how to play one and before I get too far into Final Fantasy 12.
They had a whole conversation on another podcast I was listening to about this exact same thing, and like leaving a game and then going to another game and then coming back to a game. And their suggestion was to write a note out for yourself.
What was I doing?
Like, this is what you were doing. This is what you were aiming to do. This is your goals. For me, that's Cyberpunk right now. But man, I think I've just run into a glitch.
Oh my God.
I can't get the game to keep going. That I told you, you're waiting on this guy. It says wait a day for time, for him to like set up this mission. But it's been weeks in the game. Like I've gone home and slept. I've let time pass. Day after day I've tried. I've gone and done a bunch of other missions. Like night has become day, day has become night several times. Many times.
Have you seen on
I've
Google
slept over and over again?
Is this like a known glitch?
I can't remember if I thought I looked something up, but I don't know. Takamura. There was a thing when we were podcasting that there was some issue, but it sounded like it was around what I was doing, but it didn't sound exactly like the problem I was having. So I don't know. I guess I'm waiting on an update or something. It's so frustrating. I hear, all these people talking about that they finished the game and everything. And like I had said, I think I'm really close, but so frustrating. It's the same thing with, I've talked about this before, but Fallout 4, I never got to finish it because it got in this glitch where this guy got upset because I shot him. And then when I would go back to my save, he would still be upset. And I never could get it to change. Right. And if I couldn't get like the mission from him, then I couldn't keep going with the main story. So every time I'd come back to him, he'd just start shooting me and going crazy. I'd have to kill him and then I wouldn't be able to get the mission. So it was like,
it's like the game doesn't want you to play it.
Loop.
Game's like, no, we don't want you here.
I've got to finish this game. That's so frustrating.
No kidding. Yeah, I don't know. If you don't hear anything about it, you might want to report because I know they're working. They're working.
Write them a letter.
Yeah, a handwritten letter. Dear CD Projekt Red,
their headquarters. Knock on the door.
Where's their
Mr.
headquarters?
CD, I've got something to tell you.
You get your partner, Project Red, over here. We have some words.
You and Red get out here and let's talk. I'm sure there are many people at that door knocking right now.
Oh, I would not want to be manning that door.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I'd be sneaking out the back tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them we're not here.
I think that's all I've been doing really, just to stand in Dragon Quest 11. There's a lot of games out. I'm trying to stay focused. As I said, I was playing a lot of games. I'm trying to buckle down, be like, no. Finish that freaking game before you,
You were playing Valhalla too, right?
Yeah, and I still am. And you know what, Luke, I'm getting discouraged. Not because of the game's quality.
Because it's the game that never ends.
When I see Amber play it, it's when I feel discouraged. I'm like, what level are you? I'm level 300. No,
God.
she's level 300.
Oh God.
And so I'm like, how much more do you?
30.
That being said, Amber's the do everything kind of person. She's, I can't leave this region until I've gotten every single, treasure, or until I've gotten every single mystery. And me, I'm like, and watching her, I feel compelled to do that. But now I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want to play the story, because I feel like if I do it like you're doing it, where she's at 120 hours or something with this game, I feel like I'm never gonna beat it if I do it her way, because I play too many games. So I think I'm just gonna have to experience the story and just go to the main missions and do very little of the side stuff. But it's good. It's still great. When I play it, I'm like, this is great. I'm having a good time. This is a compelling story. Wow, cool. But I get discouraged.
A lot of irons in the fire is what I'm getting out of this.
And then when I see Amber and I'm like, how far are you? She's like, I'm 120 hours in. I'm level 300. Ooh. And then I'm like, then she pulls back the map and she's like, I haven't been over here yet, or over here. And I'm like, what in the world? How big is this freaking game?
So you guys are able to have 2 simultaneous saves? Is that how you're doing it?
Yeah. We just have the 2 different profiles on the PlayStation 5, and so we're able to manage each other's
so
saves that way.
it ties it to who you sign in
to
the PlayStation with.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I've never really done that. Bethany doesn't play, so I've never experienced what it's like to switch between profiles. So
yeah, we've gotten very familiar with that.
Thing.
With the PlayStation and the Switch is similar, where if you're like, okay, you're on this profile, we know what save data to access.
Yeah, I'm sure families with multiple children appreciate that so much.
Oh my God, hey Dad, sorry I ruined your life in whichever game this is.
There'd be nothing worse than your brother logging in and messing up your RPG progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to complete a lot. I mean, it's a lull right now, and honestly, I'm thankful for it. I'm loving this new generation. I'm loving this new generation for this stuff. To be like, great, this stuff plays great, and it looks great, and there's new stuff here and there.
Everything happens so much faster. That's just one little quality of life thing. It's just like, I'm so glad I upgraded.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Everyone in games media is like, this stuff came out too soon, or whatever the case. Again, it's like a completely new experience for me than it was when the PlayStation 4 came out. I'm like, I'm playing so much stuff, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it plays great, and it feels great.
Yeah.
This is great.
Even if it is last gen, it's still a lot of fun.
Exactly. And it's not like it doesn't feel super last gen yet. There's not.
What is last gen, right? At this point,
what is last gen? Yeah, it's
seems like comes out, the more I feel like this is not going to be a movie that resembles what we saw in theaters at all.
What in the world, right?
So I think that's a positive for it.
Yeah.
But I just don't have much faith in the DC universe at all. So it's hard to, rid your mind of all the ilk stuff from so many bad movies. And Wonder Woman was this thing that in my mind it had gotten built up to a level far past what it obviously deserved. I really thought it was going to be great. It looked good in the trailers.
84, right?
It had a good obviously the new one. It had the right cast, and as we went on about it didn't work very well. I still won't say it was a terrible movie, but it didn't work very well. Is the way I would put it. And it just, it was very disappointing. It felt like it was like, okay, Joker, it's this movie that got nominated for an Oscar. Like, we're going in the right direction. And then Wonder Woman came out. It's like, oh God, what have we done? We're off in a ditch again. We got to get the car back up on the road.
No.
And I don't know if the Snyder Cut's going to do that. If the Snyder Cut is a masterpiece, truly, if it's a movie, I don't mean in all movies ever made, but for a superhero movie, if it is really like a masterpiece level thing and it changes our minds completely, I think that does change everything for like the future of WB in their like superhero movie
Oh
making,
yeah.
because I think it shows people that like there was a vision there, and it's just kind of a series of unfortunate events played out, obviously with his poor daughter. I mean, that's a
Hmm.
terrible situation. But maybe put a little bit more responsibility on Zack Snyder if he's willing to. I don't know if he's willing to, but maybe WB comes back to him and says, we see that we screwed this all up and we shouldn't have shredded your movie the way we did. Maybe we should have given it some more time until you could come back to the project instead of like pushing it out and like creating the abomination that it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that this is a great opportunity for DC because at this point, I don't know. I mean, there's probably not a lot of people with a lot of hope that those movies are going to live up to any high quality entertainment. But this could change things a lot. It's a 4-hour movie, which I don't know. That feels to me like it can only be a negative. But
It's one of those things where it's like
we'll see.
hearing that's 4 hours just blew my mind, because like if you add 30 minutes to a movie, I think it fundamentally changes what the movie is.
Definitely.
4 hours to it, I'm like, I don't even,
Yeah.
does not compute. Never seen it done to where an extended version of a movie has been extended to that capacity. It's just, and again, not just extended, take that, remove this,
Yeah.
add all of this. I'm like, what?
So now that we say that, Jordan, what's like your favorite superhero movie that ever came about, ever been filmed? Just what would be something that you're just like, that movie was just amazing in every way, superhero wise?
This isn't gonna be like one of those things where I'm like, I have this really avant-garde or really interesting
I know.
answer. Honestly, and I can't separate the two either. But yeah, Infinity War and Endgame is a triumph. It's a triumph, and I'm just like, and not just in a way where I'm like, wow, this is so impressive. No, this is hitting me emotionally, and it's some of the most fun I have ever had watching a movie, and it's just an insane accomplishment in filmmaking and writing and nerd culture, and I just think it can't be overcome by anything else. I have other favorites that always are going to be dear to my heart, like Superman the movie, like Spider-Man 2, like Winter Soldier. But what Infinity War and Endgame do for me, it's just, it can't be overstated in my mind.
So, that one's tough. I'd hoped you'd given a different answer, but that one's really a 4-hour movie made into 2 movies. But let's say Endgame, like, would you be okay with them fluffing that movie up with extra things? Assuming you enjoy all the extra things, do you think that would have ruined that movie for you?
No, what? No. I mean, I really don't care. I always say this. I'm fine with a movie being long if it's all good. If it needs to be that long, it's fine. I feel that way about the Lord of the Rings movies. Whenever I watch Lord of the Rings, I watch the extended edition. I feel like, okay, these are long movies anyways. The stuff that they add I like, so I might as well go on the whole adventure. And so if that's the case, and the stuff that they add is like, this is all good stuff, and it does not take away from from what this movie is,
Yeah.
then yeah, sure. I mean, it's already 3 hours long. So if they added another 30 minutes to it, I honestly don't know what they'd add. I feel like the movie has all it needs to have. But if they say added another 30 minutes, like they added like another 10 minutes to the battle, 10 minutes of time travel stuff, and 10 minutes of the world sucks or whatever, then it's like, if it's all good stuff, I'd be down for that. And if I ended up liking it, I'd be fine with watching that version moving forward.
So it sounds like this could work for you. I guess the final question would be, can they create something that you get invested in like Endgame? Which is obviously going to be very hard because it's 10-year buildup to Endgame. That's why you're so invested.
Yeah.
You led up to Infinity War, and then it all got concluded, with Endgame. So that's what's going to make the DC universe so hard, because there hasn't been a lot of buildup. One Superman movie, one Batman movie, and then bam, you're supposed to enjoy everything. But
it's entirely possible that I watched that and I'm like, wow, what an experience. And I can't believe they took what it was and turned it into something that I enjoy and something unique. I don't care if what it is, if it's 4 hours and it ends up being something enjoyable, it's extremely unique. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
that's a that's a swing. That's a swing. You know?
I think no matter what they do, for me, I can't help but assume that it's going to be like, wow, whether it's bad or good, it's going to be like, wow, why didn't they add more before this? Why wasn't there other separate movies that filled in the dots before this 4 hour,
Yeah.
either great or terrible thing came out? I don't think that no matter what I see, here in a few weeks when this comes out, I don't think it's going to change the fact that it's like, why did you try to fit it all in one movie? Why didn't you create other movies?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you introduce the Flash in his own movie, or at least introduce him in, a Superman thing or a Batman thing? It just doesn't make sense.
Something that I'm wondering, because this is supposed to be like the original vision or whatever for the Justice League, and I remember when the Justice League was like, "Oh, here it comes" or whatever. It wasn't supposed to be Justice League. It was supposed to be Justice League Part 1, and then Part 2
Yeah.
would be coming shortly after. I wonder, like, how close is this going to be to that? Is this going to be like that full experience, or is this going to be, no, it's still technically half the story? Yeah. Again, yeah, we're not seeing any scenes in this where Superman's taking a swing at Darkseid or something like that. So it seems like they're still setting him up, which is crazy. 4 hours of that. But yeah, it's just, I wonder how this will be. Will it feel like a cliffhanger? It's gonna be a very strange thing. It definitely, it's watching this, it feels like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is Batman v Superman. Like, not this is Batman v Superman, but this is what Batman v Superman was leading into. Whereas when you watch Justice League, it kind of feels like, well, they made a sharp left. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had a point and I lost it.
Sorry, I talked too long.
But it definitely feels like another mistake that I think they're making right now is just too much buildup. This has been talked about and coming out with these little teaser trailers and you know him tweeting out little things. It's like, guys, you could be setting yourself up for a lot of anger if people don't like this. And I mean, no matter what comes out, some people are not going to like this. That's just the way it is.
I feel like
There's so much
everyone
build
is
up.
excited for two reasons. Either you're excited and you think this is going to be it. This is the justification of the Justice League. This is going to be amazing.
Oh, man.
And then there's the people who are like, I don't like, and I feel like I am a little bit more into this camp where I'm like, this is just insane. What in the world?
Yeah.
I gotta see this. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where I'm at. I don't honestly feel like this is going to be the thing that says, oh my God, this is it. It was a thing that was a disaster. Now it's amazing. I do not think it will be the case. I just don't. But I think regardless of what it is, I am going to be very interested. I am going to see. I think it comes out on a Thursday, and I'm already trying to prepare in my mind to be like, okay, I'm going to get home. Maybe like that'll be a day when I get pizza or something, and we'll just stay up till 10 or however long watching it with breaks.
This used to be something that we'd be buying tickets for, This used to be a theater experience, like the re-release of the Justice League movie.
Some people are still going to be watching
Snyder
in theaters
cut.
somewhere. I mean, it's releasing into theaters in IMAX.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky people.
Yeah, and with an intermission, apparently. A 10-minute intermission in this. What'd you think of Joker? Seeing Joker? Jared Leto's Joker.
Strange.
Very strange.
Just strange. I have no idea what to expect from that. Like, how much of a role is he going to play?
Can't imagine it being too big.
I feel like it's sad that we're in this place where we really don't have, a definable Joker in this universe.
Yeah.
He's such an important character, on the dark side of the DC universe, and we have this Jared Leto version of Joker, which wasn't great, but it's kind of the real version of Joker. And then we have the separate movie Joker that, people really enjoyed. I don't know. I'm mixed on it. yeah, I'm not going to get into all that, but obviously that's Joaquin Phoenix is not the new Joker, but
Yeah.
he is the Joker that more people enjoyed, his portrayal of it. So yeah, it's got to be weird for somebody on the outside that's not like super up to date on what's happening to be like, there's a movie called Joker, but that's not the real Joker.
It's like you think people are confused when it comes to X-Men and Marvel. Goodness gracious, this.
And the Jared Leto Joker hasn't actually been in a Batman movie. He's only in a Suicide Squad movie, but he's not going to be in the new Suicide Squad movie. It's like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's exactly right.
What is going on?
What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And here he is here looking at completely different, doing a completely different performance, at least from the one, the line of dialogue you hear. That's not like, the performance from freaking Suicide Squad where he's like, they're so hunka hunka or whatever. This isn't
Would
that.
this be before the Suicide Squad, Jordan? Would they have filmed this before that movie?
You know what? I think they actually did this in reshoots. I think this is new.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, I think I heard something about that this is new.
That's interesting.
They got him back, and they got him and Affleck together, and they did some reshoots.
Let's correct what went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they did. Maybe they're like, we want people to like Jared Leto's Joker for some reason. I don't know. Let's do a retry. Can you wipe that damaged off your forehead? How about those grills or whatever?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They have a picture of Jared Leto's Joker holding up a Joker card on the IMDb page. It's like one of the official HBO Max released photos.
Oh, wow.
So I guess he's a real, like, oh yeah, and there's another one, him like in like a padded room with like a weird, like almost a butcher's apron, it looks like, on. Super long hair. It's black and white though, so you can't.
Interesting. So that's surely there's more. I mean, also, again, I don't think it could be understated or overstated. 4 hours. That's 2 times the length of Justice League.
Let's see. Yeah, exactly 4 hours according to IMDb. Not a minute over.
Holy crap. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea what they could possibly add. And again, I just
a lot of dark side stuff, I guess.
Guess so. Them just having a talk. All right. So here's what you're going to do. I don't know.
Steppenwolf and him just talking it out.
They talk about their history and their relationship, and you're just like, what? Oh,
William Dafoe is in this?
Yeah, because
is he in the original?
No, he was supposed to be. I remember hearing they shot a bunch of scenes and he was cut from the one that was released because he is, what's his face? Valko, I can't get his name right, from Aquaman. So he was supposed to show up first in Justice League as his character from Aquaman.
Okay, yeah. I had forgotten he was in that.
Yeah, like the same way Amber Heard shows up for like a second and they're like, you want to try it?
Oh, Lord.
Or whatever they said.
Man, Amber Heard. Johnny Depp did a number on her. She hasn't had a good role in a long time.
No, not really. I don't know how. I don't. I'm trying to remember what I know her the most from, other than freaking Aquaman. What else has she been in?
Wasn't she in that Shia LaBeouf movie Suburbia?
No way. Was she?
Wasn't she like the girl next door in that movie?
I don't know. Was she No. Was she? Oh my gosh. Hold on. This is driving me nuts. Hold on. When did that movie come out? Like 2003 or something?
Probably.
I
guess she's not in Justice League. Oh yeah, she is there. Okay.
Yeah. No, she's not in Disturbia. Who's that girl?
Disturbia.
Who's the girl in Disturbia? Just kidding. Now we got to know who the real one is. No. But yeah, either way, again, I'm excited. Day one, I'm going to watch it. I'm excited. Doesn't necessarily mean I think it's going to be amazing, but got to see this.
Yeah. That's for sure.
What in the okay. No, that's all right. Okay. I wanted to bring this up. This is more of a me thing, admittedly, but I'm hyped. It's interesting. Nintendo announced they're having their Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So we've talked about directs here and there, but the thing is, this is the first Nintendo Direct they've done in over a year, like a Nintendo Direct proper. They have these like little mini things. They have like a Pokemon one, or they're like, oh, here's this Mario 35th anniversary one, or oh, here's a Smash Bros one. But where they have a Nintendo Direct proper, this is the first one that they've done in, I think it was like over 500 days, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
People were like anticipating that they'd be done for, they're like, maybe they're not doing them anymore. And so out of nowhere, they're like, here we
so
go.
long.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's going to be 50 minutes. It's people, including myself, are expecting Zelda stuff because it's the 35th anniversary of Zelda this week. So
they need to talk more about the sequel, don't they?
yeah, Breath of the Wild too. It's been like 3 years, I think, at this point since they brought it up. I mean,
really? Wow.
I think so.
That's been a while.
But yeah, I love this kind of crap. I love that I love when this stuff happens at like 5 o'clock. I can get home, change into my shorts.
Yep.
Grab a drink, get some snacks.
On a red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the good times for me. So yeah, I'm sure I'll be hyping about something next week that gets announced at it. But yeah, is there anything else happening you wanted to bring up? What's going on?
I think I'm kind of, just been watching the HBO Max like releases, like, unfortunately we don't have theater releases. So it's just still, it's so disappointing when I see a movie come out that I want to watch, but it's $20. I just, maybe like once I do it the first time, maybe I'll start doing it more often, but even the 20, and then there's ones that are even more than that. It's hard for me to spend $20 to watch a movie.
100%.
It's just a hard gate of entry for me.
If you're like a family and like, and it's all about like, okay,
and you invite the neighbors over.
Yeah, we're entertaining all these people, but what's just two people and a newborn who can't quite see anything but shapes and colors yet? It's a little harder, like they're releasing that movie on Disney Plus premiere or whatever it is. I want to see that movie. Like, I really do want to see Raya and the Last Dragon, but $30? $30? For just me and Amber to watch it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough. And like hearing about movies, I'm like, I want to see that Barb and Star or whatever.
Oh, I know.
It looks
we really
funny.
Want to watch that.
I want to watch it. $20.
That's a $20 one.
$20. Maybe we can get together, us the four, and we'll all put our money together or something.
I don't know. Even if it was 15, I might be more willing to do it.
Something about that $20 price point just is so repellent to me. Where I'm just
a lot. It just feels kind of dirty too. It's like, I don't want to reward this.
Yeah, I know. I don't want this to be the way that we're moving.
I want theaters to reopen. So, like, I don't know if there's anything I can really do, but
yeah, the only thing I did was I waited, because I watched Love and Monsters. And I had to wait till it was on Redbox. I was like, I don't want to just rent this for $20.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to watch that too.
Yeah, I just waited till it was on Redbox and I got it. But I had to wait like an extra 2 months. So
Godzilla vs. Kong is at the end of March. So Tom and Jerry's kind of the next one. That Judas and the Black Messiah was the last.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to check that out. I heard it was pretty good. But Tom and Jerry, on the other hand. You interested in Tom and Jerry, Luke?
No, I think we've said before that's one that I'm just like, why? Why did you do this? They were just fine as, Saturday afternoon cartoons. They don't need a real release. So,
I mean, it's one of those things where when I see this kind of movie where it's like, these are the cartoons that are inexplicably in our world. Space Jam is one thing where it's like, Michael Jordan's going to Looney Tune land.
Yeah.
But when we're just walking around.
For some reason, that just works so well.
Yeah, but when we're just in the real world and they're like, get that mouse, cat. And it's a cartoon mouse and cat. I'm like, huh. And there's no
same thing with Garfield.
Yeah. And there's no explanation. This isn't like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or anything like that where they're like, oh, tunes. But it's just, I don't know.
That's a good point. Who Framed Roger Rabbit's just like something you find a shtick that works, and for some reason it becomes a classic versus this, which I think will just fall on its face, just be something nobody wants to watch.
Yeah.
Like, do you
Yeah.
not have enough test audience to know like this isn't a great idea? Because
Like,
it just feels that way. I saw the trailer. It's just like just doesn't feel like a great idea.
it just seems embarrassing. Like, you know, Chloe Grace Moretz, God bless her. She's a good actor, and she's just getting bad role after bad role. And I'm just like, I'm embarrassed for you having to
Even
do
Michael
this.
Panay, like he's a great
Yeah,
actor too. And
great actor, and they're doing
how'd you
this.
sign on, man?
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
Ken Jeong's in it. I didn't even realize that.
Wow, I didn't know that either. Yeah, a bunch of talented people in this.
I mean, honestly, it's on HBO Max, so I
Might
probably
sure
might
check
just
it
end up
out.
watching it.
Might turn it on. Yeah, I mean,
But if it was $20, it would just be like, LOL. There's no way.
seriously. Yeah, absolutely. Me, you know what? Me too. I'm not a grouch. I like Tom and Jerry, but you know, in the context of Tom and
Sure.
Jerry, they've already
Mhm.
tried to make them into an animated movie, and that didn't work. Lord knows them doing it in a live action context is
Yeah.
gonna be great, I'm sure. But who knows? Maybe I'm like, oh my god, there's some amazing slapstick, but I don't know. It like almost ruins. I'm gonna stop with that, and maybe I will check it out when it comes on, and I'll save my.
But Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm excited for that.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Let's get a bunch of monsters fighting.
Yeah.
What
boom.
can go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Then
Well-
Mortal Kombat is after that.
Yeah, it's like
That's interesting.
because they're streaming. It's like they can say, you know what, we can just show you the trailer at like the last minute or whatever, so it doesn't steal the movie before it's thunder,
Yeah.
or so people don't get confused and are like, okay, here's the next one. But yeah, bring it on.
Is Greg Rousseau one of the Rousseau brothers? Or is that a different Rousseau? I know Rousseau is a pretty common last name.
No, I don't think that's one of the
Probably not.
Russos that we know.
They may exclusively work together, which I wouldn't blame them.
Gosh, what are their names? I don't know, whatever. All right. Well, we'll be back next week, and we'll talk about things. It's good to be back. It's good to have you back, Luke.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys next week, and take care of yourselves.
See ya.
See ya.